Hey friends, this is Jason and Extra Kart Parts here. And you may have seen on a couple of my other social channels my little Mikuni TM carburetor video. And just to be clear, this thing was just found in like a seat filled with water. So I don't know. I'm just kind of bored. And hold on, let me go change the background noise for a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I'm on various social channels, and I've been posting pictures and short little videos of this carburetor, and I'm gonna call this carburetor Rusty. So if you missed it, go check out the other social channels. But this is gonna be a longer format, a live video. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this carburetor. The more I dig into it, the worse it gets. But I am actually going to try to see if I can get it to carburate properly. If you missed the videos, go check them out previously. But yeah, this thing was just completely rusted. I threw it in a vinegar bath, letting it soak. Probably not the best thing for aluminum, but again, I'm not going to try to sell this thing. I'm just more curious than anything. And I was going through a bunch of carburetors. I had some Mikunis, Tillotsons, some Briggs and Stratton carburetors I was cleaning. And I tend to like to do all of them at the same time because it's the same process. As far as pulling them apart, cleaning them, um, yeah, it's pretty much the same step. And then might as well do them all at once. So this was sitting in a seat. I figured, can I salvage that carburetor? And am I hopeful? I'm always hopeful. I think I'm more curious than anything. Um, Sorry, I'm off video. So the float, this is what came out of it. This was corroded, but probably not that big of a deal. It still floats. And what else do we have? Bear with me for a second. I'm looking in my bath. I should show you the bath. It's gnarly. That is, you're not going to see it there. Let's see if I can balance it with my coffee shakes. That there was the end. That was the end of the main jet that was snapped off inside the emulsion tube. So I was able to get that out. Actually, it screwed right out, so that was cool. And this is not a how-to video. This is me rabbit holing down stuff that just doesn't matter. That was the emulsion tube. I'm keeping all of the parts because I want to make sure I have a reference on what size the emulsion tube is, what size the floats are, the air screw, and honestly, I will probably try to run it with those parts, but I want to be able to identify everything so I can order the correct parts. And it's a stupid project. I know. I got some of my buddies are probably going to chime in and see this video and go, dude, why are you wasting your time on this carburetor? Why don't you just throw it in the garbage can? And let's see, I just threw this in the bath at the same time because it had a little bit of corrosion on it. You can see it's pitted. I have to line it up with a head gasket to see if this pitting here actually extends into a critical area on the head. But this might become garbage. The pitting's pretty deep. It's probably 20 thousandths deep, just guessing. But again, I'm curious about how stuff works and goes together. So that's why I'm here. Yeah, that I just threw in there just to see what it would do. Again, vinegar bath. Not going to use a spark plug. I'm not trying to clean it. It was really just to see what would happen to the spark plug when I put it in the vinegar bath. This was, you'll probably find this interesting. This is the float bowl for that carburetor. So imagine all this corrosion. So I think what happened was this cart was left out in the rain for a long period of time. I'm guessing that is what happened. And they couldn't get it running, so they pulled the carburetor apart. Because when I received the carburetor in the seat of the cart on a buyout I did a video on an NKT chassis. If you have any information on NKT, let me know. The chassis is for sale right now. It looks like it's a mid-90s style chassis based on the Nerf bars. And it's for sale now. I'm really not interested in working on it or trying to restore it. Not my thing for that particular era. But I'm guessing what happened is they couldn't figure out why the carburetor wouldn't run, so they started pulling everything apart. And you can, this is after I actually rinsed it and soaked it. That's how much corrosion is in here. See all that corrosion? That's after I soaked it. I haven't rinsed it yet as far as on the second batch, because I wanted to do that live to see how it would go. And we'll see if there's any easy improvement, and it doesn't really look like it. But again, this is more of just an let's see what's going to happen type video. My brain's kind of fried. I was in Vegas last week, and I was catching up on some paperwork, and I really just wanted to go work on something. That's why I'm stuck doing this. But yeah, you can see it's corroded. If I end up throwing this carburetor away, I don't even care. When I first saw it, I assumed it was going in the garbage can anyway. But here we are, going through the carburetor. And did I show the bottom? I don't think I showed the bottom of this yet. So I pulled out the emulsion tube. I need to get my bright light out. I don't know if there was a pilot jet in here or not. I tried removing it with a screwdriver, and I thought there was something in there. But maybe I can see it on camera. So I thought there was something in there, but nothing really came out. Emulsion tube is gone. The main jet screws into the emulsion tube. That's actually this piece here. Once I get this cleaned up a little bit better, there should be a marking on it for the jetting size. If you're curious how this works, this actually gets installed from the top. There's a little groove. You see the groove there? Right there. There's a groove. Inside the carburetor body, let's see if you can see it. You might not. You might, maybe right there. You might be able to see it. So there's a groove or a key molded into the body. So the emulsion tube has a groove. The carburetor body has a little key that's molded into it. And from the top of the carb, you're just going to gently press the emulsion tube down that center hole there. And then when it's installed, this will be pushed all the way through near the bottom. And then you'll have a brass cup, and the main jet screws into the emulsion tube. So that's what you have. But again, I have everything apart. You should see actually how dirty. This was fresh yesterday. And is mud. I mean, that is just mud. That was fresh yesterday. And all of that corrosion is from this carburetor and that head that I threw into the vinegar. And I know some of you might be out there saying, oh, dude, don't ever do that. But again, the head has pitting. I may or may not be able to salvage it. And the carburetor, I just assumed was going to go in the garbage can anyway. So I'm not really too worried about it. And this allows me to experiment with different ways of cleaning the parts around the shop. You can check out one of my videos that I did a couple of weeks ago on main jets. And a lot of old school forums were talking about using 2 parts water to 1 part vinegar to clean the brass parts on carburetors. And I did a video on it, and honestly, it turned out really well. It was a noticeable difference from beginning to end of how the jets looked from that natural tarnish. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to extend that to this carburetor. I'm sure if there's rust in there, everything is just clogged. And that's what I did. My next step, I'm probably going to look for more of a aluminum cleaner for the ultrasonic machine to see if that's going to work. The other reason I'm doing all this is I want to see how different chemicals attack the different parts of the engine. This needle, that's the float needle. It's shot. Out of curiosity, I may try to run it just to see what it does. And then 1 part at a time. This is good winter testing. 1 part at a time, switch it out to see how it affects everything. And again, try to learn something. But I don't know. The quest for information, I don't know why I do it myself. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to clean up this batch. I have some carburetors. I have some Walbros for the Briggs & Stratton. That's just pure, fresh, ethanol, non-ethanol gasoline. So it's actually racing gas without ethanol. And so I'm using that to soak the carbs after I had cleaned them. And yeah, that'll be another video maybe. Yeah, a whole Briggs & Stratton carburetor pull apart. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to clean up, and I don't want to get my fancy camera set up messy. Have a great day, everyone, and tune in to Extra Kart Parts.